Hello, everyone. Kinsey Elizabeth here. Welcome to 4 Steps to Revolutionize Your Relationship with Your Body. I am just beyond thrilled to have us all gathered here together. This is really, really exciting. Okay, so we're going to be rocking and rolling tonight. I'm going to go ahead and dive in. This is kind of a 2-part workshop. So part 1 is we're going to be diving into the steps of revolutionizing your relationship with your body. And then the second part is going to be an invitation from me to you to come join us in the Empowerment Studio for a boudoir session to continue this work. This is one specific path forward of revolutionizing your relationship with your body. I would be so thrilled if you love this presentation, if you love this workshop, if you love this experience of the Empowerment Studio all coming together, if you would shout out on social media afterwards. Let us know that you loved it, tag us so that we can share it to our profile. That like all those little tiny things like that just so help small businesses like ours. So I'm always very grateful. And also it's just nice to hear that you enjoyed it and that you liked what we had to offer you. And that helps us know more of what we want to continue bringing to you all. All right. I would like to first invite us to just take a big, deep breath together. Okay. So just get your body a little bit more comfortable than it is. And release your air. And then breathe in. And breathe out. And let's do one more. In. And let's wiggle it out together. It feels good to wiggle sometimes. We do a lot of that in the Empowerment Studio. If you haven't already, go ahead and put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Give yourself some time and space to be present for yourselves. All right, if you don't know this already, hello, I am Kinsey. I am the founder and photographer at the Empowerment Studio. We are here in Kansas City, Missouri. We're actually sitting in my photo shoot space at this moment. And the work that we do is we photograph our clients in really epic, empowering boudoir sessions. And our goal with them is not only to create incredible photos with you, but also to help you see yourself in a new way, to help you shape and shift the deeply trenched roots of our brains and shake them up and give you an alternate way that you might consider seeing yourself. But I could not do this alone. Oh my goodness, I am so grateful for my team. I just adore these humans who I work with. Y'all who have been in the selfie challenge with us this week are probably very familiar with Libby and David. Libby and I have been working together for, I don't know, 5 years or something. She actually booked a boudoir session through a model call a bunch of years ago, 2018, I think, and had such a like revolutionary, mind-blowing experience that she's like, wait, hang on, I want to hang around a little bit more. And then I was like, you're awesome. We're awesome. Let's do this. So she's been really core. David is our Empowerment Studio gremlin. He actually lives up on the 3rd floor of our Empowerment Studio. And then beyond that, he's like the vibe master. So he just like brings the good energy. I'm so grateful. This over here is Donnie, who is also here with us in this workshop, but he's not someone who you would know necessarily because he's not super like social media-y, but he's a huge behind the scenes person. He's techie, he's like physical construction, spacey. He hangs out and does like a bunch of lighting magic with us. And he also is one of my partners, and he makes sure that I am fed and that our kid is taken care of during these wild weeks. So I just am so grateful for every single one of these humans. And the Empowerment Studio. So I have worked with now thousands of people. I've photographed over 500, and actually the over 500 estimate was last October when I was like trying to add up the number of people per year. I've been running my boudoir studio for 12 years now. It'll be 12 years in October. And so, yeah, I photographed so many people. I've also guided a ton of you in our Selfie to Self-Love 5-day empowerment challenge, where That's a free way to work with the Empowerment Studio. And over the course of 5 days, we shake up our relationship with ourselves and we exist in photographs. And I run our pop-up Empowerment Studio Facebook community where we come together and we share good vibes and we compliment each other. And there's a lot of magic that happens. And so that's a lot of my expertise. It's a lot of my magic is in guiding people to have amazing transformational experiences and become a lot kinder and add a lot of kindness to the world. So you are in the right place if, tell me if any of these resonate with you. If your relationship with your body is complicated, in fact, actually comment in the comments here if any of these resonate with you. If your relationship with your body is complicated, if you are ready to see yourself in a new light, if you'd love to stop throwing negative energy at your body and start living your life. If you're like, whoa, I am spending way too much of my time and my energy on being unkind to myself. And what if instead of that, I just threw that energy into my life and allowing it to be more vibrant? Maybe you want to learn to take up the space that you know you deserve. Maybe you're like, oh, I used to take up space, and over the course of years, I've gotten smaller and smaller in my roles and responsibilities as a partner or as a parent or as a kid or as a employee, or all of these things have just taken a lot of things away from you, and you are ready to come back to who you actually are. Or maybe you've done a lot of this work already and you're ready to celebrate. This is all for you. And by the end of today, you will leave here with, first and foremost, some hope that you might be able to love your body exactly as it is, with no caveats, no desires to change. Like, sure, we can like be optimistic about the journeys that our bodies are going to be going on in the future. Our bodies are constantly going to be growing and changing and shifting over time. That's how they go. But also, maybe we can throw some love at the version of ourselves that is here today, and tomorrow's today, and the next day's today. And I also want you to leave with one actionable step that you can take to move forward towards, like, closer towards having a shift in this relationship with your body. I want you to come away with one actionable step, and that might be, I am gonna take more selfies. That might be, I'm gonna go to therapy because this is helping me realize that I have some internal work to do. This might be, I'm gonna book a boudoir session with Kinsey in the Empowerment Studio. But you're gonna come away with one actionable step. And speaking of which, you will also come away with an invitation to join me in the Empowerment Studio for your very own boudoir session. So revolutionize your relationship with your body. Okay, y'all. So there's 4 steps, right? And this is the progression that we're going to work through tonight in this workshop together. So step number 1, explore your identity. We're going to get into each of these further. Explore your identity. Step number 2, be in your body. Be in it. Be in it. Be present with yourself. Step 3, exist in photos. And we've been doing a lot of that this week in the selfie challenge, and there's just a whole lot more we can do. And step 4 is the process of seeing yourself in a new light. So, are you ready? Maybe drop some like heart emojis in the comments, start throwing that love already, and let's begin. So step 1, explore your identity. First of all, this beautiful, lovely human is Kaithra, who is a client, but also friend. We had such an incredible session together, and she was like, hey, can I come in? And I am a gender fucking barbarian, and like, are you ready for me? And I was like, heck yes, I was born ready for you. The Empowerment Studio is all about celebrating your identity, and not only celebrating it, but like helping it become more tangible and more physical for you so that you can have the experience of being in it. Because it's hard to like yourself or even act neutrally towards yourself if you don't feel like yourself. And sometimes you don't feel like yourself because you don't know who you are. So step 1, explore your identity. How do you do that? Okay, so you can put yourself in environments with the sort of people who inspire you. They say You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? So how can you shift the world that you're in? I'm not saying like ditch your people, but I am saying, can you look more expansively at the humans who you are around? And can you put yourself around more people who are also heading in this direction of magic and of being kind to themselves and seeing themselves in new lights? Another thing you can do is get curious. Try new things, try a new way of styling your hair or dressing. You can experiment with makeup or not wearing makeup. Or maybe this is like more of a gender or sexuality sort of exploration and you want to try on some new pronouns or identity labels. But you've got to find a safe space, or at least a safer space, that's what I like to say, to explore this unfolding version of yourself out loud. Now, this person here, this very amazing human in this photo, this was from their very first boudoir session in the Empowerment Studio. And this client had booked a session under like a different name and had been, on Facebook in our Facebook group under a different name. And they reached out to me and before their session, they're like, hey, Kinsey, I want to try on some new pronouns. I want to try on a new name and I want to wear a binder in my session. Can I do that? Like, can I do that in the Empowerment Studio? I was like, you asked the right person because we got you. And so they got to come in and do their session and like, look at this joy. Look at the joy. And I asked them about their session and like what it meant to be able to like have their identity out loud and to explore it here. They said, having the space to do that was wildly freeing. When I reflect on it, it felt like I got to step into my own skin for the first time. I think that shows in my expressions in those pictures. But there are some mistakes that are very easy to make, very reasonable to make. One of them is sharing your newfound identity with humans who are not all in on you, who are not just like showing up hard in your corner. It's not to say that you can't be yourself around people, but when you're first trying this stuff on, when you're first exploring this version of yourself out loud, find a crew or a photographer, for example, but like find people who are in your corner, who are gonna try the pronouns with you, who are gonna celebrate the outfit that you're trying on and compliment you in it because they can see how much you look like yourself. Another mistake is like doing all this exploration in a very like tucked in, quiet way. You can do that first, but then you get to take a step into breathing into it out loud, letting people witness you in this new version of yourself and your fullest self. But it's pretty easy to stay tucked in. So that's a mistake that people make. Give yourself the chance when it's safe to step out. Another like myth or like kind of just a weird like shifting that I think needs to happen is that people seem to think that identity shifts have to be big, but they can be really small. They can be so small that maybe only you notice them, but maybe you wear a little bit less makeup, or maybe just when you're at home, you don't wear a bra or you wear your binder or whatever. What's 1% closer to who this version of yourself is, and can you be them a little bit more out loud today? Okay, step 2, be in your body. Y'all, I love this picture of me. And this was a moment, so this was like a date night with one of my partners, and we were driving down like the highway down 71, and it was golden hour, and we had all the windows open and the sunroof open, and this wind was just sweeping around me, and I felt beautiful. I felt present in myself. And so I pulled out my phone to take a picture, and this is like a one picture, just boom, right? Because I wanted to document this feeling of being so fully in my body. It wasn't about what I looked like. It wasn't about like my identities. It was just this deep feeling of presence. I feel my best when I'm in my body and not focused on my body. If you relate to that, raise your hand in the comments. Let me know. Let me know if you feel your best in your body and not focused on your body. So how do we do this? So you can create context where you can play. I think that's so important. Grown-ups, forget how to play. It's so innate to children. And then, like life, capitalism, all of that starts to like squish down on us. So create context where you can play. For me, that's things like playing D&D with my buddies, or having just like a couple minute, like really wiggly, dancy stretch session to myself, or, creating time for activities that I really enjoy, unplugging my phone. Indulging in flow pose. This is another amazing way to like get really present in your body. So flow pose is actually the very first pose that I do in all of my boudoir sessions on this bed right here. And I have my clients lie down on their back and close their eyes and put their hands on their body. And flow pose is all about literally just flowing your hands all over yourself and breathing. And what I like to say to my clients is just feel with your hands the body that you brought with you here today. Gives you a chance to just get grounded. Because like I said, our bodies are changing that little tiny bit every single day. And so how can we like check in and connect with ourselves and this body that we have right here, right now? And move your body in a way that brings you joy. That kind of gets back into the dancing that I was talking about, but maybe that's sex, or maybe that's playing a game that takes you on a physical adventure. Maybe that's giving someone that you love a really good hug. I got to give David a really good hug earlier today, and it's just so grounding. I think when he and I specifically hug, we both like put a lot of intention into it, and we allow our bellies to soften into each other. And that's a really incredible way to just get really present and really connected. Okay, but there's some mistakes, some pitfalls, and some myths here. A big mistake is putting yourself in environments where your body isn't welcome. Now that looks like a lot of different things, right? That's like if, gender and sexuality stuff for sure, but also like if you're in a bigger body and you're going to places that have rickety chairs that make you feel stressed about existing in that space, right? So do what you can, find the things that you have control over, and intentionally spend more time in those spaces. Here's another one. Sometimes people stay in their comfort zone, and I'm a big fan of comfort. Okay, I really am a big fan of comfort. And also, I'm not suggesting, if this is your comfort zone, I'm not suggesting that you like whoop, all the way leap out of it. But to find some time and some space to just gently stretch that comfort zone, that's where the good stuff starts to happen. Okay, so how can you stretch yourself just a little bit beyond? Get really present in yourself and do something a little bit different than usual, right? And this is a huge one that I see is people do all of this stuff, right? They're like, okay, cool, I'm going to be in my body. I'm going to do things that bring me joy, but then they go too fast. They don't notice that they're doing it, and they rush the process. It's like a box they can check. And so that's where I think people like me are really supportive in this part of your work, because I can say, yes, lie here in flow pose and put your hands on your body. And also, what does it feel like? What is it like right now to be in your body? How does it feel? And especially taking time to notice that when you're in a space of joy, when you're feeling good and empowered, you got to notice that. So find ways to remind yourself, or find people who will remind you to help you find that awareness as you're going through it. Kind of along the lines of flow pose, right? That's at the beginning of the session, but then usually about halfway through the session, I'll pull my client aside and say, hey, how are you feeling? What does it feel like to be in your body right now? And then towards the end of the session, I usually try to weave another flow pose in, and I will say, hey, what does your body feel like now? And I'll notice my clients just unfold over the course of the couple hours that we're spending together. It's really remarkable. In fact, there's like multiple phases. People come in a little nervous, but then they do flow pose and they start to get grounded. And then there's a moment soon after that they go, okay, I've got this. I'm doing this. Like, this is not as scary as it felt like it was. And then there's another moment, and I always point this out when I see it to my clients. I always am like, hey, you look like something shifted. Something has, and they're like, yeah, I'm really here. I'm present in my body. I'm doing this thing. I'm all in. So I asked Libby. So Libby has done 2 separate full boudoir sessions with us here in the Empowerment Studio. And she's in a fat body, and she's like a person who a lot of spaces in our society do not make space for bodies like hers, right? And so I said, hey, I know that you had some really transformative experiences of being in your body here in the Empowerment Studio. And I'm curious, like, what did it feel like to be with a boudoir photographer and to actually feel safe while you were in your body at that same time? So I actually have a little audio quote for you all.
Okay, so what's coming up for me right now is that I have definitely been in spaces and with people that do not make me feel safe in my body. In fact, that's where I spend the majority of my life, is in spaces where I don't necessarily feel safe, accepted, welcome in the body that I'm in, except in my like home base, you know? And I think there's something about working with you that like felt exactly like that home base that I have kind of curated in my own personal spaces, but I felt it exactly in your space as well. Like, I never felt like I needed to move in a way that made my body feel weird, or I never needed to like do anything that I wasn't completely comfortable with. But also on top of that, even in my own spaces, sometimes I'm still not completely in touch and like in my body. You know what I mean? But just working with you specifically, you helped coach me in certain ways to get into that space. I know we in our last session, we had a moment where I could tell, like, oh no, I'm getting in my head here, and I'm like, my brain is going to just, my brain is about to steamroll this whole session that I invested a lot of time, money, and energy into, and I don't want that to happen. So I felt comfortable enough to say, oh, we need to stop. I need to stop because I need to get in touch with my inner body real quick. And you told me exactly how to do that. And not only did you tell me how to do it, but you got me right back in there so fast, right back in my body. And it just felt juicy, and it just felt like right. I just felt right. You know what I mean? And those are some of my most favorite and most vulnerable pictures from that session are when you're coaching me about how to get back into my body. We did kind of a flow pose sort of thing while I was kneeling on the bed. Those are some of my most favorite, but those are also the ones I don't share as often, not because I don't love them, but because they're just so tender to me, and I hold them so preciously to my little heart.
So yeah, thanks, Libby. Thank you for helping us. I don't know, just see what's possible when we take some time to be present with ourselves, and when we put ourselves in environments where we're welcome and where people are rooting for us, right? Okay, so step number 3, exist in photos. Y'all know I'm a big fan of this one, but why? Why do I care so much? Why do I think it's so important for everyone to exist in photos? First of all, I think it's just so important to document ourselves. I think that our future selves will be so grateful for it. Our families, our friends, the people who love us will be so grateful for it. And so exist in photos, if for no other reason than to show up and document, right? And also, there's another huge reason. Photography is so powerful. It allows us to see the beauty that we can't always see with our own eyes. Seeing beautiful, real photos of yourself, I truly believe, can change your life. I really, really believe this. Let's talk about it some more. So here's the deal. You got to be intentionally photographed, intentionally create photos of yourself. You can do that through selfies. You can do that through hiring a photographer who you really trust. But make an effort, commit to it as part of your growth work, right? And then this is another layer, and we've been practicing this in the Empowerment Studio. Be kind to yourself in those pictures and in those videos. So I talk about this with clients all the time. And that's part of why when you see your boudoir photos for the first time, I'm not just sending you a gallery that you're going to like sit at 11 p.m. by yourself and go through the gallery really critically and pick yourself apart. No, we don't do that here. Instead, I guide you. We actually get onto Google Meet together, and I guide you through the experience of seeing your photos one at a time for the very first time. And I do that because we are so trained and conditioned by society to do what I call the body scan, where you see a picture of yourself and you go head to toe and you kind of pick yourself apart. Oh, I'm smiling in that weird way again. Oh, I'm kind of slouched in this way. Oh, my stomach's doing that thing. Okay. And it's okay. I understand why we do it. It's deeply carved roots, right? And also, what can we do to shake that up? Well, we can practice intentionally being kind to ourselves, throwing that love at ourselves, and eventually we can start carving new grooves that are a little bit kinder, a little bit gentler. And if we keep intentionally revisiting those grooves, those will be the ones that we go to first. And then practice being open, trusting the process. Allow yourself to see your confidence glowing. Like, what if instead of looking at a photo of yourself and being critical, what if instead you notice, you like not only have a slightly kinder reaction, but you also take a step back to notice it happening, right? And you got to trust yourself. Okay. Sometimes taking the leap of taking pictures, sometimes the leap of, let's see, believing that you need to change before you're worth documenting. Wait, no, I'm going back one. Yeah, sometimes you just got to trust yourself that, like, you know, it can be scary to be photographed. It can be scary to like commit to doing a photo shoot or commit to doing a 5-day selfie challenge, right? But the more that you can, this is kind of the stretching of the comfort zone sort of thing, right? A lot of times people will say, oh, I'm not ready to be photographed. I don't feel very good about myself. I don't like my body very much. And they're waiting for some day to get to where they're there. Like, they're not there yet. Well, what's there? Sometimes you just got to book the photo shoot and take that leap. And that might be the catalyst that helps you begin the process of moving forward. Sometimes we just need a little jump start. So, mistakes, pitfalls, and myths. So, being photographed by someone who doesn't know what they're doing. And I think that can be both other people and also ourselves. That's why we teach selfie tips and tricks, because we want to teach you how to photograph yourself in a way that feels as kind and generous as possible, right? And so, yeah, we want to teach ourselves how to photograph ourselves better. And also we want to find photographers who you look through their body of work and you see people who look like you, who have your body type, or like if you have a disability, like look for photographers that also photograph disabled people. Like, look for people who you're like, okay, I know that they can like work with me specifically because I deserve a top tier experience. There's this weird thing that happens, okay? Photos are two-dimensional, right? And we are three-dimensional humans moving around in space. Light reflects off of our bodies. Sometimes people are like, well, wait, does it really count if I have to pose myself and like get my selfie from a certain angle, or if the boudoir photographer is posing me in all these ways? But what we are doing with that posing is we're actually like, I see you moving around in 3D, and my job to photograph you is to pose you in such a way that the light and the pose and the angle all works together to create a two-dimensional image that represents how I see you in 3D. That's why we do all of this posing. That's why we're looking at the lighting, because we have a lot of work to do to make this two-dimensional photo look like the version of ourselves, all of the additional information that we get when we see someone moving around in time and space, right? So make sure you find a photographer, even if it's not me, who like is gonna take really good care of you. Okay, please, please, please. It's very important. The number of clients who have come to me and have said like, oh, Kinsey, I had an awful experience. I had a boudoir photographer who like just made me feel terrible. And like, we've got some undoing work to do. I know I deserve a good experience. Can you help me here? Absolutely, yes. I'm so sorry. Come here. Let me make amazing photos of you. This is another one, believing that you need to change before you're worth documenting, right? There's all sorts of people who are like, okay, I'll get a session done when X, Y, and Z happens to my body. I'll do a session once X, Y, and Z happens in my life. But you are worth documenting right now. So even if your finances dictate that a boudoir session is not for you in this moment, take those selfies. Get a friend to take loving, loving, kind pictures of you. You are worthy right now. And also, don't you keep that magic to yourself. That's another thing I see. You take all these pictures of yourself, you do a boudoir session. I understand that sometimes boudoir photos can be kind of private, but find at least someone to share them with. And if you're like a lot of my clients, a lot of them are like, you know what? I love these photos so much. Put them out there for everyone to see. Have a compliment party for me. And then they get the experience of sharing their images in such a way that they get to like experience other people's kindness and compliments about their photos. Also, something to mention, model call clients, which is what we're going to be talking about later, do come in and sign a model release to share their images like upfront. But my regular boudoir clients, you absolutely do not have to share your images to anyone. There is no like predetermined sharing permission or anything. But often when my clients see their pictures, sometimes they'll be like, oh, you know, I didn't think I was going to let you share any of these. And that's always totally fine. But maybe you could share this one, right? So that's kind of fun. Okay, here we are. Step number 4. Begin to see yourself in a new light. Okay, so you've done all this work, right? And you've been in photos. And then what if you allow yourself to be seen? And I'm not talking about by everyone else. I'm talking about being seen by yourself. What if you allow your brain to catch up? What if you allow your brain to like recalibrate to the version of you that has done all of this work, that is now in these beautiful photos? What if you allow yourself to be seen? So what does that look like? Well, we already talked about sharing your photos and receiving compliments, and that might be on the internet, but that also might be like your best friend. That might also be a partner. That might also be your coworker who you're like kind of cutie pie, close gossipy with, and you're like, hey, you want to see these? And receive those compliments. Practice receiving. Be open to it. And then also, this is another great way to see yourself in a new light. And this is really core to the selfie challenge. Get in the practice of giving compliments to other people in your life, or leave sweet comments on other people's photos. This is one of the sneakier parts of the selfie challenge. We know that we're posting our selfie and then we're going off and giving compliments. But why do we do that? Yes, it's good to pump each other up. It feels so good to get to know that like you posted your picture and people are being kind to you. But the process of giving these other people these compliments and you seeing things in them that you like in their body, it starts to kind of do that little like micro shifting in your own brain. And before you know it, those ways that you're seeing other people start to kind of bounce back to yourself. And you know what? This one's really basic, but do some self-care, go to therapy, drink your water, get enough sleep. It all is so much easier if we are very wholly supported, if we're moving our bodies in ways that feel good and joyful, if we are getting the rest that our brains need so that as we're digging these new grooves and finding these new neural pathways, right? It all goes easier if we're taking very good care of ourselves all around. And then, you know, I think about this. We talk about people seeing other photos online and like, you know, it's really one of my biggest tips is to go find people on Instagram who have your body type and also a ton of different body types, right? But we need to make sure that more of those body types are out there so that more people who have a body that looks this way can get out there and more easily find someone who looks like them. And so this is an option. If you're ready to start sharing and seeing yourself in a new light, be the people others need to see. Okay, but here are the challenges. Y'all are too dang hard on yourselves. So hard on yourselves. But I understand it's so hard to like retrain ourselves from this language that we're so used to using for ourselves, or these like thought processes that we're used to applying. So I'm going to offer you a what if process. So instead of being like, okay, now I am a person who likes my body, the what if is, what if I like my body? What if I wasn't so hard on myself? What if I could see myself in a new light? Okay. So instead of being mad at yourself when you catch yourself being hard on yourself, see if you can just flip it around with a what if. Okay, this is another big one, sharing the images with people who aren't doing the work themselves. Here's the thing. You are so proud of your images and you go out and you show them to other people. But if they are not also doing the work, then they are going to project their own insecurities, their own negative self-talk onto you. So make sure that you are sharing these images with people who are also doing the work. Now, a really great place for that is the empowerment studio, because we're all doing the work here together, right? And then this is another huge one. You get stuck in the mindset that it's too late. It's too ingrained. I can't change it. This is just how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. How dare you talk about my friend that way? What if? What if? Okay, so here is what you learned. Number one, we're going to explore our identity. Number two, we're going to take time to be in our bodies and also notice that we are in our bodies. Take time to actually actively notice it. Number three, we're going to exist in photos, whether that's selfies, whether that's looking for candids that people are taking of you and taking a moment to process yourself in those. And whether that's coming in for a boudoir session here in the Empowerment Studio. And then step number four, see yourself in a new light. Share the photos with people and allow yourself to receive compliments. Put yourself out into the world and allow the good to flood in, and give yourself a chance to see yourself in a new way. All right, so now you have an opportunity. Here's the deal. You can keep doing your thing. You will get there if you want it enough. You can come and do selfie challenge year after year after year. You can keep taking your selfies. You can build out a social circle of people who appreciate you and who are kind to you. You can do your what ifs, and you can do this work. Or you can make this process a whole lot faster and take a leap with the Empowerment Studio. You can take a giant leap ahead. But now that I'm thinking about this, there's a part of me that's like, is it an acceleration? Like, yes, it will accelerate this journey for you. But will 6 years of selfies get you there in the same way? Like, yes, those selfies are important. And also, I think you deserve the chance to see yourself through someone else's loving eyes. So now that I'm seeing this, I'm like, I actually think you need to do both. But it's important to know you can do this work. You can do it. If you commit to it, you can do it. But what if we could do it faster? You know, you could climb a mountain by yourself and hopefully you would get there, right? And you could research a lot and bring the right snacks and carry everything on your back and pitch your own tents, right? Or you could bring a cute little camp guide in a safari hat who's very enthusiastic and who will guide you joyfully along the path and actually get you there with a lot more ease and a lot sooner. So here's this opportunity. You can keep doing your thing. You will get there. Or you can come take a leap with your very charming mountain climbing guide in the Empowerment Studio. And I do have a client who I'm very specifically thinking of who did both. And I'm remembering, so I remember she has participated in so many different selfie challenges, and she's photographed herself very intentionally and seen her body in lots of different ways. And then she came in to do her session. And when she came in to do her session, it was like, oh, okay, whoa, you've been doing the work. So we don't just have to like play down here because you've been doing so much work already. We get to hang out up here. We get to do some next level work. We get to take you to the next level. So no matter where you're at in your journey, you can get something huge out of working with the Empowerment Studio. So I've got some words from clients. These are real clients. In fact, these are real model call clients who have come in and done sessions in the Empowerment Studio, and they took the leap, and they didn't all necessarily know what they were getting themselves into or what kind of growth and shifting and change was going to happen, right? So this is Corey, who brought in an amazing Tomboy X collection. It was so soft. They said, Kinsey and team helped me feel comfortable, sexy, seen, and yes, empowered every step of the way. As a fat person, especially, that isn't always my experience in the world. And this is Sarah. Sarah is one of the humans who had a really big, beautiful, like gender self-exploration in the Empowerment Studio. And then they came in to see it, to make it more tangible, to spend 3 hours just being all the way themselves at their fullest level. They said, I am beyond grateful for the studio. Kinsey has cultivated such a safe, inclusive space for everyone that has ever dreamed of doing a boudoir session, but didn't think it would be a fit or be for them. They have made it a point of ensuring the experience is curated to your unique self and that you are celebrated as you are. And this is Amanda. Ooh, Amanda blossomed during her session. And she said, my time with Kinsey was pure magic and giggles. I had so much fun and found a deeper connection within myself that I had forgotten was even there. That's the play, being in your body, right? To say that all bodies and people are celebrated within the Empowerment Studio is an understatement. She has a magical way of drawing out a part of yourself that either you have buried or neglected to see for yourself. I felt a power and energy within me draw out, and it was contagious. And so, if this sparks something in you, if you're like, oh, I want to feel my power and energy draw out, I want to tap into my identity, I want to have my body out loud in a space where I'm accepted exactly as I am, and not just accepted, but celebrated, then I invite you to book a session. Welcome to the Empowerment Boudoir Experience. And here's the thing, you may not think you're ready. You might be like, oh, whoa, I can barely do selfies. But here's the thing, you're not gonna come in and do your session tomorrow. So you can practice and dig in and do the work leading up to your session. And there's something to be said for like, once it's on the calendar, I get messages from people all the time. They're like, I just booked my session and already I feel more empowered. What is going on? But there's something that kind of shifts in our brains when we like make a commitment to ourselves in that way. So this might be one of those cases where you want to leap before you're all the way ready. And a session in the Empowerment Studio, it's all these same things. You get a chance to come in and for hours explore your identity out loud. You get to pick clothing from the lingerie rack or bring in whatever you want to be photographed in and then try on a new version of yourself. You get to use your pronouns out loud and feel seen and celebrated exactly as you are. You also get to be in your body, the flow pose, the joy that we take a moment to notice, oh, hey, you're feeling amazing right now, aren't you? And then people are like, whoa, yeah, I really am. And then step number 3, exist in photos. Well, that one's probably pretty obvious. We are going to make the best photos of you that you have ever seen in your life. Okay. I take enormous pride in using my 12 years of experience and also my way of connecting with people and my artistry to help pose you and support you to create photos with you that are just going to be epic. And then through those photos, during your celebration session, your viewing and ordering appointment about a week after your photo shoot, where I guide you through the process of seeing yourself in these photos for the very first time, you'll get the chance to see yourself in a new light. And you'll get to try the experience of seeing yourself in a totally new way. So, y'all, we have a model call coming up. And I am really excited about this. The model call, we do a model call once a year-ish, like a really big one. Every so often I'll get a hankering. I'll be like, oh, hey, do we have any 3X models who can come in and who want to come in and do a session and wear this new lingerie that I just got or whatever. But this one is for everyone. This is sizes extra small through 6X. This is all genders, all bodies, all sorts of magic. And I would love to invite you in. Here's how it works. So to book a session in the Empowerment Studio normally is $290. That's booking your session, and that gets you on the calendar. We reserve your hair and makeup. You get to come in for your photo shoot experience. That $290 does not cover any of the products or digitals that you're going to want to come away with from your session. That's just your session fee, your booking fee to get you in. Okay. Now, that session fee, if you sign a full model release, if you are willing to share your images with the folks on our social media and, you know, in our blog posts and our emails, that sort of thing, then your session fee drops from $290 to $0 as a thank you for signing that model release and for being willing to share your images. But then here's the really cool thing. Once you are booked in, you become a full client in the Empowerment Studio, just like the other clients who pay full price. We don't hold anything back. You get the full experience. Okay. Now, it's showing me that my next images are not loading. So I'm going to see if a quick little refresh helps that out. I don't think Mercury's even retrograde right now. That's usually the time that these sorts of things happen. But lucky for us, I feel pretty chill. Okay. Let's give this a share again and see how this goes. Oh, yeah, the image is loaded. Oh, thank goodness, too. I couldn't remember what the next one was, but I would be so sad for you if you would miss out on this image of Rachel Katie. Which, if you've been doing the selfie challenge, I'm sure that you have noticed both Rachel's amazing selfies, but also her really kind, generous, amazing compliments, right? So Rachel first came and found me after a selfie challenge. She had just found the Empowerment Studio right before a selfie challenge back in 2021, I want to say. And she came into the selfie challenge being like, oh no, nope, this is not for me. I don't like pictures of myself. I will not take them. I don't know about this. And then she kind of like watched on day one and she's like, okay, maybe I'll give it a try. And then selfie challenge magic happened. And throughout the week, we watched her blossom. And then the model call that we had, she's like, oh, hey, I'm all in. So here's how that went for her. She said, if you have reservations like I did about the model call, allow yourself to feel uncomfortable and turn that nervous energy into excitement and take a leap of faith and do this amazing transformative thing for yourself. I can honestly say I have never felt so pretty and dare I say sexy before in my life than when I was in front of Kinsey's camera. It's good stuff, isn't it? So, why would someone apply for the model call? Okay, well, other than the obvious, which is saving $290, which we love, we really believe in the Empowerment Studio in the power of representation. And mainstream boudoir out there is very thin, cis, straight, femme, right? That's what you see if you type boudoir in on Pinterest, right? And I am on a mission with my clients, with the Empowerment Studio. We are on a mission to change the visual narrative of boudoir. Because I actually asked this question. I said, do you see bodies like yours in the media? Do you see bodies like yours in boudoir photos? If you have an underrepresented body, what does it mean to you when you see someone who looks like you? Okay, I asked the question in the Empowerment Studio. And these are some things that different people said. There was a picture with the post. And this one person said, this picture was really needed tonight. To see a woman with a body that I feel is similar to mine. Absolutely gorgeous, and I admire the confidence. This is another person. Don't see bodies like mine represented often. Seeing a body like mine helps me to accept myself as I am and realize my beauty. That I don't have to be perfect to be sexy and beautiful. I stop and think about how I talk to myself. Here's another client. She said, this was 100% of the reason that I signed up for my first session, because I wanted to inject as many images of magical fat bods into the universe as possible. And then she said, I didn't even think about the way it would affect me as a person. And it affected me in a big, juicy, positive, catapulty way. And then this other client said, I came to the Empowerment Studio during a model call and would have never considered applying had I not went through the group and saw photos that not only reminded me of me, but did so in a way I had never really seen or actively paid attention to before. It was beautiful. And then she said, well, it still is beautiful, obviously, but I mean that initial aha moment of, oh shit, why can't that be me? It can. What a good moment. Okay, so let's talk about boudoir sessions in the Empowerment Studio. What all is included? Okay, so we start things out with a virtual planning call with yours truly. So once you get booked in, you will schedule a call and you and I will hang out on Google Meet and have vibes like these to begin dreaming about your session. We'll talk about how you want to see yourself and what our goals are in your photo shoot and what kind of lingerie you might want to wear, or, what sorts of energy and vibes you want to do. We also talk about what products and digitals, like what's the most important to you to come out of your photo shoot with, because that helps me know how to photograph. If I know that you're coming away from the session with an album, I will photograph your session in a way that is much more like album story arc, right? Whereas if I know that you're wanting to put giant wall art on the walls, I will make sure that I am photographing you in ways that work with the different wall art sizes that we have. Virtual planning call. We can also get you set up during that call on like a couple month prepayment plan if you want to break up what purchase you're planning on into a few purchases. We love a payment plan here in the Empowerment Studio. And then you also get professional hair and makeup with our amazing hair and makeup team at White Carpet Bride. Now, these folks are amazing. They've been in business as long as I have, and we have worked together since I came to Kansas City in 2016. I love these people and I trust them implicitly. They take incredible care of our clients, and it's just such an honor to work with them. If you don't want to do hair and makeup, it is optional. You can opt out of it, but it's kind of nice to start your session with being pampered for the day. And then you get to be photographed in 3 different looks. And if you want, all 3 can come from the client lingerie closet, sizes extra small through 6X. This is Ashley. She's wearing 2 different, they're both kind of blue, but she's wearing 2 different pieces from the client lingerie closet. She looked amazing. Yeah, we've got over 300 pieces. Last David and I, we were like, putting things back up onto hangers and looking, and we were like, let's count these. And there were over 300 pieces in that size range. Something for everyone. And then of course you get a totally magical photo shoot with my posing and my awkwardness and my good jokes and my very earnest compliments. What was I saying about awkwardness? I just like flung my headphone out of my ear. This is the vibe. We're a little bit like fun and easygoing and chill. It feels, I'm hoping the Empowerment Studio is actually in a house in Hyde Park, Kansas City. My goal is that I want you to feel like you're coming over to my home. I want you to feel welcomed here. And then you get your viewing and ordering appointment. I love these photos. So this is like screenshots from all of these clients, like seeing themselves in these images. Okay, so here's Bridget. And like, look at her reaction to seeing her butt. And here's Kiki, and she was so excited. This photo has the most beautiful, brilliant, perfectly highlighted stretch marks in it. And she was just like overjoyed to see it. Because those stretch marks remind her of her daughter. They came when she was pregnant with her daughter, and she's like, I'm so proud of those, and you documented them beautifully. And then this client, Haley, it's just like, it's good, chill vibes, and I'm your buddy, and cheer you on as you're seeing your photos for the first time. Something important to know, you only buy what you love. So you come in and you do your session, and then you come in for your viewing and ordering appointment. And at that point, when you see your photos, is a time that you can make your decisions of, do I want an album? Do I want wall art? Do I just want digitals? Do I want all of the digitals? Do I just want some of the digitals? And you can work with your taste and your budget to make sure that you're going home with exactly what you want. And then, like I said, your choice of products and digitals. So we have amazing wall art clusters. These albums are stunning and just like a masterpiece, a sensory masterpiece to hold in your hands. And some people are much more digital vibes, and that's totally fine as well. Or maybe you're a little bit of both. Now, I will say we do have some boudoir collections that are that little bit of both. It's some products, some digitals. It's by far the best bang for your buck. And if you decide to prepay, so if you like book your session now and you book your session for 3 months from now, and over those 3 months, you prepay for one of the collections, then you get to unlock all these different bonuses, including our neon shower set, milk bath, wings, harnesses. We do partners, like couples boudoir, all sorts of things like that. Okay, but what does all this cost, Kinsey? Good question. Thanks for asking. I'd love to tell you. So we have a wide range of different products and digital options for you. Products start at $790 and digital bundles start at $800. And then the collections that include some combination of products and digitals start at $2,000. And we do offer in-house payment plans if that helps you budget for your purchase. And I thought I would actually like take you through, this is our product guide that is online. So you can take a look through this on your own in your own time. But I do just want to like take you through because it's kind of fun. So we've got mini albums and we've got heirloom albums. These start at 10 images. These start at 20 images. And I want to be really clear, any products that you get, an image, wall art, image box that includes 10 images or 20 images, you get those same images as digitals as well. So like this 6x6 mini album is $1,500. It includes 10 images and you get those 10 images in your album, and you also get those 10 images as digitals, which is really cool. We also have wall art. We have metal prints that you can buy. We also have wall art clusters like what you saw in the other thread, in the other image. And then if you were like, I just want to get some digitals, then you can get 4 digitals for $800 on up to getting your full set, which is, I say 40, there's usually more than that. And if you get your full set of digitals, you actually get them all in color and in black and white, which people seem to really love. But then what are these collections? Okay, so we have 3 collections. This one here in the middle is, I would say, by far the most popular, but we have people who get both of these as well. And I've intentionally built them to all be collections that I'm like, yeah, I believe in that. I would buy that, okay? Body Liberation includes your full set of digitals. It also includes a 30 image album, and you get a small wall art, and you get a mobile app, which is a little You don't need Wi-Fi for it. You don't have to download the images to your phone. You can just tap on the app, and it's an app of you. So that includes all of that, plus 30% off a la carte if you want to get extra wall art or whatever. Collection number 2, the I just want to stare at my hot bod on my phone digital collection. This one's really popular. It's literally your full set of digitals and your mobile app so that you can have it on the go. But wait, Kinsey, you said the full set of digitals is $4,000. How come this collection is $3,900? Because I love a deal. That's literally the only reason. I was like, what if this collection is the same thing, but less? And also you get your mobile app with it. And then the Belly Laugh collection. I love this one. It's a little bit more simple, and it's a lower price point. So it's a little bit more accessible is my intention with this collection. 12 digitals. You also get a small wall art, and you get the mobile app with those 12 digitals on it. And you get an a la carte discount as well. But hold on to your butts, my friends, because this next slide is our flash sale. I'm gonna have a drink of water. We've been talking about this flash sale for a minute now. Are you excited? Are you curious? Do you have any guesses what it's gonna be? It's kind of nuts. My coach was like, "Are you sure you want to do?" Yeah, I do. I do. Our 24-hour flash sale. So if you apply for the model call or book a session, honestly, tonight or all day tomorrow, all the way until Friday, June 28th at 11:59 p.m., you get $1,000 off any boudoir collection. What? What? Okay, I know. Let me explain. Okay, this did not come out of nowhere. This is very intentional on my part. Shit is weird right now. Money is weird. Inflation is wild. And I kind of want to throw us all a bone. That's literally where this is coming from. I just want to throw us a bone. And there's a symbiotic relationship between me and my business and you, my clients, right? There's this give and take, right? You hire me and I do this amazing thing for you, and you coming in to do this allows me to do it for more people, and me doing it for more people allows me to empower more people. There's this incredible exchange happening. And I want to photograph more clients so that I can support my family. I want to get my calendar all the way full, and that's part of where this giant sale is coming from, because I want to make it possible. And you want boudoir sessions, and inflation is next level, and paying for gas is like complicated right now, right? So I want to try a thing. I just want to see what happens. We're not going to do this again. Like I can't imagine that we're going to do this again. This is feeling very like one-timesy. Literally, like if you book right now, today and tomorrow, then you get $1,000 off your boudoir collections. So let's take a look at what that looks like. This Body Liberation collection, which is that full set of digitals, your 30 image album and wall art and mobile app, becomes $4,800. This I just want to stare at my hot bod on my phone digital collection becomes $2,900. And this is the one that I'm like, I think this is actually nuts. But this Belly Laugh collection becomes literally half off. It goes from $2,000 down to $1,000. So not only with this model call is your session fee waived, so you're saving $290, and then you can get the Belly Laugh collection for $1,000, which means all in, you would get this boudoir experience for $1,000, and we can do payment plans. Okay, I'm trying so hard to make this as accessible as possible to as many people as possible so that I can photograph more people and I can empower more people and more people can come in and become empowered. This is what we're doing, and I'm really excited to see who is able to come in now that was not able to before, because we all deserve to feel empowered. But wait, there's more. So we also have a pay in full bonus. So we are offering a 10% discount on boudoir collections. Okay, so with this sale, and this is anytime between now and Tuesday night, if you send in your model call application between now and Tuesday night, and you're like, I want to pay in full for my boudoir collection, which are these prices if you do it in the next like 24 hours. If you're like, I want to pay in full, then you save 10% on your boudoir collection. And yes, these can be layered together. So that then makes Body Liberation Package 4,320. It makes your digital collection 2,610, and it makes your Belly Laugh collection $900. Like, I feel like you can't afford not to buy it, really. Like, this is just such an amazing deal, and I'm really excited because I really want more people to be able to come in and do this thing together with me. Also, if you pay in full, or even if you do it with a payment plan, you don't get that extra 10% off. But if you pay in full over the course of 3 months, if you split it into 3 months, you get to unlock prepayment bonuses. So prepayment bonuses are things like neon shower set, an extra lingerie look, headshots, milk bath, harnesses, wings, couples boudoir, a pre-planning session, extra time in the studio. So if you prepay for a collection, by the time you come in for your session, and you can split it up into up to 3 months, then you get to unlock one or more of these bonuses. And we can talk through all of these options. Like, once you've applied and once you're accepted, then we will book your call and we can talk through all of the details of all of this together, so you don't have to like remember everything or make your decisions right now. This is just fun. It's just exciting. So if you're hearing all of this and you're like, yeah, this is time. It's time. I've been thinking about doing a boudoir session for a long time. I can't pass this up. I wanna book a session with the Empowerment Studio. I'm ready for a model call. Let's go. Let's go. So here are your next steps. You are going to fill out your application at empowermentphotographer.com/model. There's information on that webpage, and then you will click on the application. It takes probably about 5 minutes to fill it out. You attach 2 pictures of yourself, which selfie challenge, you have recent pictures of yourself. That's so nice. And then, so you fill out your application. If you are accepted, I will send you an email and I will say, heck yes, come on in, let's go. You will pay a $200 booking fee within 24 hours. I know the session fee is waived, right? I haven't forgotten about that. You will pay a $200 booking fee to officially accept your spot. That $200 will go towards any purchase that you make, either in advance of your session or during your viewing and ordering appointment, okay? So that $200 becomes product credit towards whatever your purchase is. And then once you are paid those $200 in, you'll get a booking link from me to schedule a call, and you and I will hop onto a call and we will chat. If you want a prepayment plan, if you want to like pay in full or whatever else, or if you just want to like chat through, and we will plan your session. So Empowerment Boudoir Model Call. Head over to this website right here, empowermentphotographer.com/model. And let's do the thing. Who's going to apply? That's what I'm curious about. That's what I'm curious about. If you're seeing this and you're like, oh, I think I might do this. I'd also love to hear in the comments what your biggest takeaways are, what your experience has been like being here. There are lots of different ways to make progress on your body love journey. There really are. And no matter where you are right now and the direction you're heading, you're doing great because you're here, right? You're intentionally committing to this work. So we are here as you continue to take strides towards a more bold, empowered version of yourself. Life is a wild ride, and I am so grateful that you've chosen to spend some of it here with us in the Empowerment Studio. All right, y'all, I am going to take questions now. If anyone has any questions about doing a session in the Empowerment Studio, about the model call specifically, I'm curious what people's thoughts are. Oh my gosh, sign me up like yesterday. I know. Oh, that makes me so happy. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Yeah, okay. This is the thing. And Ida, this is really interesting because I know that you've been talking in the Facebook group about how this is like probably not the best time because of the sort of investment you were wanting to make. And so to know that this wild discount that we are doing here is something that can make this more possible, that just feels so aligned to me. And that was exactly what I was picturing. My coach and I were talking about it. And she was like, okay, let's think through how you're going to feel if people like do this huge discount, like you are going to be paid less and all of that. And I was like, but what I'm picturing is for someone who's been eyeing a boudoir session for a long time, for them to say, hey, this makes it possible. I'm ready to do it. I want to do this now. I'm in. And now I can do it because of this opportunity. Oh, I'm excited. What questions do you have? All questions are welcome. I can also go through these FAQs on here. These are questions that I've gotten a lot recently, or have gotten in past model call times. So they're probably pretty relevant. What if I don't know what to wear? David, that's a great question. So first of all, we do a lot to help you get ready for your session. We have an email sequence that we send you that has different tips and tricks. We send you a link to our boudoir clothing guide. So it gives you like, you know, ideas and suggestions of if you're just looking through your own closet at home, what might you consider that you haven't like looked at before, right? That, you know, kind of give yourself like a new perspective on what you already own. We also send you links in case you want to use this as a chance to make a fun new purchase, lingerie purchase for yourself. Why not? We've got some really awesome inclusive brands that we like to recommend. And then we have our client lingerie closet. So about a week or two before your session, you will receive a questionnaire. And that questionnaire is partially where you fill out things like just kind of more introspective things to help get ready for your session, but it's also a little bit more logistical. So that's where you give us your lingerie sizes and your clothing sizes. That's where you tell us if you have any ideas in mind already for hair and makeup. And then we use that information. Oh, and that's also where you choose your prepayment bonuses if you have prepaid for a collection and you unlock milk bath or neon shower set, all these things. And then we use that information and we pull items for you from the client lingerie closet in your size range, and also plus or minus a little because sizing is a construct, right? And we pull items that we think are going to like fit the vibe that you're looking for. And we also pick things that we think would look awesome on you. And we also pick things that we think might stretch you just that little bit. And we put that all out on a clothing rack. When you show up at the studio after hair and makeup, I have you like put everything out that you've brought with you. If anything, you don't have to bring anything with you. You could show up completely empty-handed. We got you. And then in addition to whatever you've brought, I have you look through the client lingerie rack and you get to pick things that you feel enticed by. You don't have to necessarily know if they'll look good on you or if they'll fit you. And then from there, I help you with the process of narrowing down into your final 3 looks that you'll be photographed in. When will your session take place? I hear this one a lot. So if you pay in full and you're like, I want to pay in full and I'm ready to go, or if you are planning to pay after your session, once you've seen your images, we can do your session pretty soon. I have a couple openings in July and a couple left in August. And then the rest of y'all can be in September and October and November, okay? But we have time to get some of you in right now. If you are wanting to prepay for a collection and you want to split that payment up into a couple different payments, you can book your session up to 3 or 4 months away from now, and then we can start you on a prepayment plan to get your funds built up by the time you come in. And in fact, even if you're not going to be planning to pay in full, but you're just like, I know I want to spend $1,000 at least on this. Like, I don't know what products I'm going to want for sure, all of these things. But you're like, I do know that I want to spend at least some amount of money, and it would be helpful to make some payments up front so I can spread it out a little bit. then you can do that as well. And then we can book your session for a couple months down the road. And then we do have post-session payment plans as well. Those are also 0% interest. We are down to go up to 6 months of post-session payment plans. The only thing about that is that then we hold onto your digitals and your products until you are paid in full. And then we send them all to you as soon as you have paid your balance in full. Another option that we recommend for people is looking into something like PayPal Credit, where you can pay in full and then pay that for 6 months with 0% interest, and then you get your products in digital a whole lot sooner. Bye, Kaitra. Kimberly says, what if we live farther and need to look at travel dates before we can decide an exact date? Absolutely. So that's part of what we do on the booking call. Like after, so you've applied, you get accepted, you pay your booking fee, and then you schedule a call on my calendar in the next week or so. And during that call, we can talk through all of those sorts of logistics. And we can literally on that call, pull up my calendar and your calendar and just be like, okay, let's figure all of this out. I just got a model call application email in on my watch. That's exciting. Oh, it's so fun when the first one comes in. Oh, I'm absolutely thrilled. So we can pull up your calendar and my calendar, and we can just be like, okay, I have this one Thursday open, and how does this work for you? And, I can give you, we can come away from the call with 5 different options of dates or 3 different options. And then you can go off and look at airfare and plan your travel schedule. And then we can just Facebook message back and forth to coordinate. I'm very available. I actually really enjoy just palling around with my clients online. So we can just chat back and forth and make sure it all works out. That's a really good question, though. This is another really important one. What if I don't want to sign a model release? Okay, so the model call, where you have that $290 session fee waived, is specifically for people who are comfortable signing a model release. But if you don't want to sign a model release, you absolutely do not have to. You can book in at any point with a regular $290 session fee. The thing that that is really cool right now is if you book in right now with a $290 session fee, you don't even have to apply. You can just do that right now. Then you can still get access to all of these sweet discounts and bonuses. The $1,000 off collections if you book in the next 24 hours, the 10% pay in full discount, all of these things. Okay, this is another one. I'm very open to other questions. We are going to wrap up pretty shortly here, though. So now's your moment. If you have a question, drop it in the chat. But people will say, okay, yeah, you make awesome photos of beautiful clients, but I'm not photogenic. You can't make me look like that. To which I say, first of all, I love a challenge. Bring it on. But actually, people who claim they're not photogenic are actually my specialty, and some of my very favorite people to work with. I really love going through the process, because I will pose you from your head to your toes. I will be like, okay, lie your body down like this. Okay, now bend both of your knees. Good. Okay, now tip those to one side. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to have you lift your head up a little bit, and then crank your chin up towards the ceiling, and then lay down onto the top of your head. Okay, good, perfect. And then we're gonna put one hand right here, and then let's bring this other hand up here. Yep, perfect. And can you just play with your hair with this hand right here? Okay, perfect. All right, good. And then go ahead and give me a little arch in your back. Great. And then, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna close your eyes, and I just want you to breathe. And I'll have you breathe, and I'll be posing. I'll be ready to go. And then I'll say, okay, now take a big deep breath. And as you exhale, just softly open your eyes up to me. Okay, good. Part your lips. Beautiful. Now bring your chin this way. Gorgeous. Laugh a little bit. I guide you through the entire process. So you do not have to know what you're doing. And I love to guide someone through that process and take an incredible photo of them and then be like, hey, look at the back of my camera. What do you think? And they're like, what? And I think that's part of why I love photographing the people who like claim they're not photogenic, is because they like really don't think that a good picture can be made of them. And then I do it and then they're like, oh. So I do always tell people, like, if people are like, oh, I'm not going to like these pictures of myself, so I'm not going to plan to spend very much or whatever. Um, I always tell people, like, go into this thinking about the different possibilities, the different outcomes here. What will I want to buy if I only want a few of the photos? But what will I want to buy if I want them all? How can I make this work? What are my options here? And go into it with a game plan, because usually you're going to want more than you think you do. Yeah. Okay, y'all. Thank you for being here. How was your workshop? I would love to hear from you in the comments. Do you have any big takeaways? I love this workshop. I love thinking about these like really tangible shifts that we can make together. Because it does, we don't have to go it alone. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a little too hard if we're just on an island. Everything's done better in good company. I say that like an extrovert. Oh, Ida says it was fantastic and I loved it so much and I'm so excited. Oh, hooray. Well, I can't wait to see who else applies for this model call. I'm so grateful. What a joy. All right, y'all, take really good care. I'll see you on the internet. We have day 5 of our selfie challenge tomorrow. So let's go. We get to keep doing this thing together. Just remember, apply tonight or tomorrow to get that mega bonus. Okay? All right. Goodbye, my loves.